Welcome back to the SMC podcast with me, Connor, and my co-hosts,
Sean Kinahan,
Conor Mulcahy,
and Keane Costello.
Today we're going to do our best six-side team to play in the schoolyard. Each of us will have to put ourselves into the team and we'll pick a manager to manage the side. We'll start with Sean for his goalkeeper.
So I'm going with Manuel Neuer in goals, because as we all know it's a very small a box to where the goalkeeper can use his hands in the schoolyard, so you need someone who's good with his feet and come out and be a commanding sweeper keeper. So that's why I've gone with Manuel Neuer.
Actually, I forgot to ask you, who's your manager for the team?
Of course, my manager is I'm going with an inexperienced and almost a risky choice, but I'm going with Tommy Barrett. And for anyone out there who doesn't know who Tommy Barrett is, he's the manager of Treaty United at the moment. And he's the best manager in the world.
They're doing well there, Treaty.
They're going up.
on to big things.
On to big things. Who's your manager, Connor?
My manager, I've gone for, if we're talking, 5-a-side. When the lads get tired, we want someone in the changing room to motivate them. And I don't think there's a better motivator than the man himself, Neil Warnock. I think he'll be shouting at them. He's fantastic tactics. He's a very underrated tactical man. And that's why I've gone for Neil Warnock to manage my team.
Can I just quickly say,
You can.
who's better at the tactical side of the game, Neil Warnock or Pep Guardiola?
Look, if it was Manchester United and you gave me two options to manage your team tomorrow, I'm picking Neil Warnock every day of the week.
I'd definitely pick him over Ollie anyway.
Oh, same there.
It's 100%.
Keane, who's your manager?
Again, I literally have no explanation for this. He's just one of the greatest managers to ever manage Ireland. Martin O'Neill.
Oh, what a man,
What a
man.
pick.
What a manager. What a run he gave Ireland in Euro 2016.
Robbie Brady and James McLean and some of them players, they weren't the greatest players, but when they put on the green jersey, they just magical things happened.
The football we played, it wasn't the greatest, but it got us over the line.
Speaking of not great football, my manager, it might seem a bit out there, but after you see the team, it makes sense. We have Tony Pulis. He might not be the best. He knows not be the best, but he knows how to play a nice, hard game, and that's what we're looking for him. So let's look at our goalkeeper now. Sean, we already heard yours. So Connor, who's in your goalkeeper?
I've gone for Rene Higuaita. Did you ever see his save where the ball's coming and he does the little front flip and that is a driving factor for me. But I do think he is a good goalie and he's good with his feet.
Listen, that's a great pick, but if he's going to be trying to do that in the schoolyard, he's going to seriously hurt himself in the tarmac. So
look, I think you might not know this, he's actually been to prison, so he's a tough lad. He's been taking the he's had a great time. I think he'll get through it, and he's great with his feet. Right the box.
Keane, who do you have in goals?
I've gone a bit controversial. I've gone with Luis Suarez. Solely because of he got Uruguay through to the next round of the World Cup in 2010. What a save that was. One of the most controversial moments, in my opinion, of the decade. But on the schoolyard, nothing's getting past Luis Suarez.
Myself, I was thinking of putting Darren Randolph in goals. It's a very Tony Pulis type of goalkeeper. Long balls up the whole time. But I decided to go for Neuer. Might just have that extra little bit on Randolph. Not much, but just that extra little bit. So we have the defence now. We both have two defenders. So Sean, who have you in your defence?
Well, I'm after picking one world-class player and one average player. So I'm after picking myself and Marcelo. So you can kind of, it's obvious like who's the better of the two. So Marcelo, I know he's past it, but prime Marcelo, maybe apart from Dani Alves, I think he's the best fullback I've ever seen in my life. I think he'd still be good enough. I think he'd still have the skills and the movement to do it, even at his age in the schoolyard. So yeah, I'm going myself and Marcelo.
For me, I've gone for a really big, strong lad, and then a lad who maybe isn't the best. So for the kind of okay, I've gone for Virgil van Dijk. You know, he'll get a foot in here and there. He'll be good for the pass. But to get the real strong workhorse centre back in, I've given him the captain's armband. I've gone for Conor Mulcahy as the other centre back. I just think he can change the game for me.
He used to play with Parkford as well, so that's always bonus points.
That's always. Once you put that jersey on, it gives you
Superpowers.
Strength.
It does. And I just like to say, this team will be wearing the red and black of Parkford.
That's beautiful to hear. That's beautiful to hear.
side.
Well, I've gone with a world-class centre-back, and I've gone with another world-class centre-back. But one, I think, will score more goals. One, I think, will do more defending. I think Ronald Koeman will do more defending, and I think Keane Costello will be scoring more goals. He'll be hitting them from anywhere around the park. Ronald Koeman can sit back in the flank because he doesn't come close to Costello, and you're shooting him from range.
That's a bit rich now because Costello is a Parkford reject, let's not forget that.
But I do think Ronald Koeman's 253 career goals needs to get him into that team. Solid centre back as well.
I think I've gone for a better goal scoring centre back than Ronald Koeman. I've gone for two centre backs, one who's in Man Mountain and one who is Shane Duffy. I've gone for myself and Shane Duffy in centre back. If that's not a Tony Pulis defence, I don't know what is. Just long balls up. If we're losing the game, just put Shane Duffy up top and guaranteed he will get a goal in about the 86th minute.
Can I just say something? I know this is a bit off topic, but I know Nottingham Forest have gotten Steve Cooper. But would you replace Steve Cooper with Tony Pulis?
That might be a bit much. I don't know. Tony Pulis wouldn't fit our team, but Steve Cooper does. But I think Tony Pulis, if you build a team around him, there's no better manager in the game.
That's a big statement. And this man's after saying he's better than Van Dijk. You're after saying you're better than Ronald Koeman, and that's still the biggest statement that we've heard so far.
Tony Pulis, he could keep West Brom up with a, let's face it, was a bang average team. He could keep him up year after year. He just knew what he was doing. I wouldn't say the best in the game, to be fair. Maybe a huge sale.
Well, I know none of us picked him, but I don't think he'd suit the playground football. But I think the best manager in the game has to be Sean Dyche.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I agree. Sean Dyche. Clear Tony Pulis, 100%.
Mr. Brexit himself.
You can't. Nothing comes close to Sean Dyche when you're playing that kind of football.
I don't know, Sean Dyche is more scrappy. Pulis is more of a tactical mastermind. He knows what he's doing. He knows the players he needs in his team.
Can I just say, I'd choose to watch Sean Dyche any day of the week over Tony Pulis. That's the way Sean Dyche runs that Burnley team is just unreal.
Okay, so moving on from this heated debate of two absolute legends of the management game, who have we gone for in midfield? Sean?
Well, I've gone with. Has to be. He's not a midfielder, but I think he's going to do a job for me. He's going to run rings around everyone in the middle of the park. Lionel Messi.
Fair enough.
Sean, can I just say, it was between Lionel Messi or Roy Keane. But I've gone with a defensive team and I've gone with Roy Keane in midfield instead of Lionel Messi.
Listen, if we're talking, well, when you think of it, Roy Keane, like you see, even in the game yesterday in school, great game, 30v30, and the ball doesn't really touch the tarmac. It's always up in the air and you're getting a volley or a header. I think Roy Keane will be well able for it, but if you just want someone to take the ball down and he'll run around the 30 defenders that are in front of him in the small space. So that's why I've gone with Messi.
For me in midfield, I've gone with a player from a specific era of his career. I've gone specifically for Skinhead Rooney. I think everyone knows he can bang a long shot. Everyone knows he can volley. But I think what this man brings to the team is his scrappy attitude to play under Neil Warnock. And I just think nobody's going to... If somebody tries to come to Rooney, they're not stepping off of that tarmac alive.
Listen, Rooney's done a lot in his career. I know he's overrated, but he has done a lot. He's won Premier Leagues and Champions Leagues and FA Cups and League Cups. He's played under Sir Alex Ferguson, Jose Mourinho, Louis van Gaal, the list goes on. But he's never done it in a Munchins tarmac schoolyard with Neil Moore as his manager. And I think that would just complete his career.
I agree.
in front of the whole crowd as well. The atmosphere and that on the yard is just unreal. I don't think Rooney would be able to handle that.
I don't know. It's all the supporters close to the pitch. Great atmosphere.
I think one man who, even if he's getting abused, will be able to deal with it. He's a very Tony Pulis type player, and I know that for a fact. It's James McLean. He played with him for years at West Brom, and he was a quality winger. He was a Premier League quality winger.
Can I just say that James McLean will be getting no abuse in that schoolyard though? I know he'd be well able for it, but James McLean, what a man he is.
Standing ovation.
Oh, standing ovation.
Standing ovation. You don't have to do it now.
So are we going on to the attackers?
Might as
Have
well.
you said your midfielder yet?
Yeah, I said Roy Keane over Messi.
Well, I have to go with two players. I think, as we said before, you need someone up front who's going to get you those headers. So I've gone with arguably the greatest, how would you explain it, the great header to score goals that I've ever seen, Cristiano Ronaldo. And I've also gone with someone who's tricky, and we saw against Man City, and maybe it's just because it's fresh in my head, Mo Salah. You gotta have him.
You do.
Like, if you lose the ball and Mo Salah's running back at you, he's going to catch up with you in seconds.
All I'm going to say is, I don't think, as a Liverpool fan, I'm saying this, I don't think Mo Salah would be able to handle playing on that Munchins Yard.
I don't think so.
I don't think he'll handle it.
Yeah, but I think he has the work rate.
And I don't think Cristiano Ronaldo would be able to handle the physicality as well in that box when the ball's coming in high.
He need to start using the elbows more. That's all I'd say to him. But he has the heading ability. He's able to get up there higher than anyone else and nod it back down.
Two men who I know well will be able to get onto that ball in the air. We've gone for Shane Long and Crouchy. Look, no matter what way you play, that is a striker that works. A pacey striker and a lanky one. It works no matter where you go. Neuer boots up the ball, Crouchy nods down, Shane Long runs into the scores. You put the ball in his box, Shane Long has one of the biggest jumps you'll ever see. Next to Peter Crouch. The two of them will just be able to score goals for fun. And let's be honest, I don't think any of us, all of us are in defence of our team. Let's be honest, none of us are starting Crouch in the air. None of us are starting Shane Long in the air. It's just goals for fun for them, like.
It is.
I'd take on Shane Long.
Shane Long has a leap on him. He's a proud tip man too.
Oh, here we go, the proud tip man. I beat the proud tip man. Has he ever done it in a cold rain night in Lampachine?
I don't believe so.
No. No one really has though. We can't really afford floodlights, but that's not the point.
Connor.
My strike force. I've gone for a similar thought to Sean. My first striker, a man who, as much as you might think, Sean, you're not out leaping Cristiano Ronaldo.
No.
I'm sorry to break it to you.
Hang on a minute now. I never said Ronaldo. I said Shane Long.
I think arguably Shane Long is a more athletic specimen than Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yes.
If we're talking based off ability,
His leap is mad.
it is. He is hot.
It's mad.
So that's one striker. My other striker, I'm going for a tricky player. I've gone for an underrated player. I've gone for Lewis Nani. I think he has the skills to pay the bills. He's going to be running around everyone. He's going to be dribbling and he's going to be scoring.
Can I just say, I don't think Lewis Nani would be able to get past 5 men surrounding him in the yard.
You've never seen Lewis Nani play that. I think Lewis Nani had run through that team.
I disagree.
Just to be sure, Lewis Nani, he played with United and
Yeah,
again,
yeah.
I just never heard his first name. I just knew him as Nani. I didn't realise he had a first name.
Ian, what's your attack, so?
Well, I was going to say Dalglish and Rush. Well, the greatest strike partnership in my opinion in English football history. But when I thought about it more, and I thought about how the physicality is on the Munchins Yard, I've actually gone with Andy Carroll and Olivier Giroud.
Oh my god.
Great pick.
That is smart.
I just think they will be able to handle the physicality and get their head on it. Bag them goals.
Listen, I just think Olivier Giroud, he loses the ball and he needs to burst back and make a big tackle down the other end of the pitch. He does not have that burst and speed.
He's not the man for that.
To be fair, if you put in Olivier Giroud, he will distract the defence with his looks. I mean,
Hang on, I think that says a lot more about you than Olivier Giroud, to be honest.
But Sean, why are you saying tracking back when we've Roy Keane, Ronald Koeman and of course King Costello at the back? I think that'll cover it all day.
Yeah, but I have Messi in the middle of my midfield, so we need Salah coming back, not Olivier Giroud. And I just don't think. I think you need a mix, and I think Andy Carroll and Olivier Giroud are very similar players.
I disagree. I think one's acrobatic, and I think the other is.
Which one's the acrobatic one?
Well, of course, they both score absolutely unreal goals, but I think Olivier Giroud is a bit more acrobatic than Andy Carroll, just based on Andy Carroll's injury history.
So you're telling me Olivier Giroud is going to be doing bicycle kicks on the tarmac?
Yeah.
To be fair, I don't know, Andy Carroll can score a bicycle kick too if he wants. Both of them can just score an unbelievable goal any time they want.
For me, your teams might need the physicality. I think the two key factors in my physicality is the man wearing the captain's armband, Mulcahy, and the manager. I don't think, after a hefty talk with Warnock, I don't think anyone's going to be going out there not giving their all, even Nani. And I think Rene Higuita, like I've said, he is that history. Joey Barton was robbed from a place, but I don't think we need that physicality.
So Connor, what is your full team?
My full team in goal, Rene Higuita. Two centre backs, Van Dijk and Mulcahy. My centre mid, I've gone for Wayne Rooney, and the strike force of Nani and Ronaldo, and Neil Warnock at the wheel.
Okay, Costello, what's your full team then?
My full team is Luis Suarez in goals. My two centre backs are Ronald Koeman and myself, Keane Costello. My midfield, I have Roy Keane, and the two up front, the deadly duo of Andy Carroll and Olivier Giroud.
Yeah, so let's have a vote here. If your two teams are to play in a semi-final, who's winning? You're obviously going to back your own teams.
Oh, I'm backing my team.
Connor, who are you going with?
I'm voting Keane's team.
You're having a laugh.
I'm voting Keane's team for one reason only. I think Keane has a top quality goalkeeper, and I'm starting to question Higuita's ability, because I know he's a fabulous player, but I don't know if he could do it on the tarmac.
Honestly, I'm concerned about his mental state. I don't think that he has the best place. If he's doing a scorpion kick while in goals, I don't think he'd be anywhere near school.
On tarmac as well.
Yeah.
I think he's a tough lad and he needs a bit of flashiness, and I think you two have lost your mind. I think when you have two legends of the game at centre back, I don't think Giroud and Andy Carroll will be out-leaping any of those two centre backs.
That is a valid point. I think I'm starting to change my mind now. So let's say, okay, Keane has the better goalkeeper, but Connor has the better attack. So
Connor, who's your two centre backs?
Van Dijk and Mulcahy.
Andy Carroll is absolutely destroying Mulcahy in the
I
box.
disagree. I'd have to disagree there. I think
Andy Carroll will literally run rings around you, and he's little.
I disagree. I think Mulcahy, what you're underlooking here is the mental state of the boy. I think and Andy Carroll tries to jump over him. I think he's simply too strong for Andy Carroll. That's just my opinion.
How tall are you? How tall are you?
5'9".
And Andy Carroll around 6'3", 6 foot.
But what you're forgetting is, I have much bigger legs than Andy Carroll.
Oh
I'm gonna be leaping like a salmon.
Hang on, have you been studying Andy Carroll's legs before this podcast?
I have actually, yeah.
That's interesting.
I knew this argument would come up, and I have the facts to back it up.
Just to clarify, Andy Carroll is a 6'4" beast, and you're telling me that you're able to stop him in the box in an aerial battle.
That's exactly what I'm telling you. And if I don't, I've Rene Higuita behind me.
Just quickly on the goalkeepers. If they're playing in the schoolyard, and let's say for argument's sake they're students, the both of them are getting suspended
Oh, I agree.
for a few days of school after the game.
Oh,
Because Suarez is definitely going to bite someone.
Oh, definitely.
What did Higuita go to jail for again?
Drink driving, I think.
Yeah, so he's going to.
He's going.
He's going to be a bit reckless. I say he'll throw a few dirty fouls in and get someone injured.
But look, you need that on a physical place, a physical environment like the yard. You need that, my opinion.
Yeah, to be fair, I don't know. I still think Keane's team edges it, just because it's just the strike force. I'm tired out, but Giroud and Andy Carroll. And unfortunately, I don't think you can mark either of them in there.
Okay.
And I genuinely think Boston would just bully you, and you'd be off in the match.
I have to go with Ronaldo and Ronaldinho, unfortunately, over Giroud and Andy Carroll.
I agree
But-
with you, Sean.
On the physicality in a yard, You're not actually going with Ronaldo and Ronaldinho.
I actually don't have Ronaldinho, I have Nani Shaw. I'm not sure
Sorry.
where you're getting Ronaldinho.
Where'd they get Ronaldinho from?
Definitely not.
Yeah, Nani.
But I think you're talking about physicality. Like I said, manager aside, I do think Nani underrated. He'll do the tricks, but Ronaldo is a big lad. Nobody's tackling him. I do think he has the physicality to do it in Munchins.
Keith, who's your centre backs?
My centre backs are Ronald Koeman and myself.
I'm just trying out. Nanny isn't getting past either of them.
Nani, I've come up against very fast strikers in my time, and Nani is just another one of them. There's no way.
I'd have to disagree there, but I think whatever you say about Nani, Cristiano Ronaldo, you think you can mark Cristiano Ronaldo?
But I know Ronald Koeman can.
I don't think he can, no.
So are we going with Keane Scene?
I'm going for Keane.
It's a disgrace.
Can we just quickly say, Keane, who do you have in midfield?
I have Roy Keane. That's all you
And
need.
who do you have?
Um,
You have Skinny Rooney, I think.
I have Skinhead Rooney. I think as good as Roy Keane is, and he is better than Skinhead Rooney defensively and is a leader, I think Skinhead Rooney, he was a bit mad at that time. He'd go in for every challenge, and as good a player as Roy Keane was, I don't think he'd a long shot on him like Rooney did.
Can we? So, if you look at the teams, I think if you're looking at red cards, like Gueda's going to get a red card, Suarez is going to get a red card,
Definitely.
Skinhead Rooney's going to get a red card, Roy Keane's going to get a red card. I think all the centre halves are going to
Costa
have
could
to
get a red card maybe.
Okay, it'd be grand. I think they'll all be okay. I think centre halves will be okay. They're going to be cool, calm, and composed.
Oh yeah.
Up front, Nani and Ronaldo. I think they'll be okay. And then Andy Carroll and Giroud. I think they'll be okay. So then, yeah. So then, if you're just left with Andy Carroll, Giroud against Nani and Ronaldo
On the
the
school
two
yard.
centre halves.
and two centre halves, I have to go Connor.
Thank you, Sean.
Please. The only question now is, do we have a referee out there?
Oh, that's a good question.
We have never played with a referee. I don't know why we would start for this.
No, but I think the crowd would like if Skinhead Rooney comes in with a dirty tackle, the crowd isn't going to be happy.
The crowd would actually be very happy. Let's all be honest. People want to see people get hurt out there.
So yeah. This is hard. I'll go with Keane then if there's no referee.
I'm fuming. I think Sean's lost the plot. I think there's no way Costello and Koeman are dealing with Nani and Ronaldo, and that's what it comes down to for me.
The only thing is, Keane's strike force is absolute rubbish.
It is, I agree. I think he's gone for the heading ability, but he's forgot the two centre backs.
Okay, boys. I think we'll compare me and Sean's team now. Personally, I think this. So move on to me and Sean's game because Keane's team went through. So, Sean, do you have anyone in your team that you think will be a star quality for you?
Well, apart from myself, of course, I think Neuer is going to be a very good player for the school yard.
I don't see who in your team is Neuer knocking that ball up to. He's a sweeper keeper, but to who?
Cristiano Ronaldo.
But will Ronaldo be able to deal with Shane Duffy on his back? We saw it before, he's not the best at dealing with it.
And that has been proven before. For a full 90 minutes he didn't. But Ronaldo, two lucky goals I'd say. So
Yeah, he kind of won the game though, didn't he?
a school yard game's what, half an hour? What's your point then, Sean?
He's going to do it, alright. Less players, different ball game. It's a different sport. It's like rugby 15s to rugby 7s. They're different sports.
The one thing I'll say about Ronaldo, everyone knows he loves a celebration. I think he whips out the Sue on the schoolyard. I don't think he's walking off that tarmac alive. That's just my opinion.
And let's be honest, no referee. Salah's useless for you.
Oh, I agree.
He is useless for you. He won't get anything.
As a Liverpool fan as well, he is useless. He is useless.
If Cristiano rips out that Sue, every single spectator is going to run onto that pitch and just bombard him, and yeah, he won't come out alive.
Quick message from the audio guy, Sean. Can we just get a quick sue for the emphasis?
This has to be a good one now.
Okay, I have to compose myself.
See.
Bit average, Sean. Bit average.
Fairly poor.
I don't
fairly
rate
poor.
that Sue.
And for that reason, I think James McLean, Shane Long and Crouchy should be going through the final.
Right now I'm going with Connor's team. Unless you put up a valid point, where you can change my mind, I'm going with Connolly.
Talking about the defence, who's a better footballer, myself or Connor? I think I'd
Sean,
have
I was
myself.
putting balls into your foot the other day and you were falling over them, P.
When was that again? Oh yeah, I
You
did
were
that.
falling over balls. You made our team hopeless.
Hang on a minute, I scored 2 goals from my own half in PE the other day.
For our own half. Look who was in goals. I scored 1 goal. I scored 1 goal. Beautiful. Chest it down. Hit it.
Who's alongside you in the fence? Both of you.
Shane Duffy.
Marcelo.
Oh, see, it's okay.
That's
It's
okay.
Connor.
It's
Connor.
game over.
Marcelo is marking Crouchy. Shane Long is backing him.
Yeah,
it's
that's
over.
alright.
It's over.
He can't defend against himself. Never mind Shane Long.
This is absolutely scandalous.
I think for me, I would have been inclined to pick Sean's team, but after what was said about my team, I've come to my senses a bit. This isn't normal 11-a-side football. We're talking on the schoolyard. We're talking we need big men up front. And who is big men up front? Who is a better big man than Long and Crouchy? I can't think of two, and I don't think Marcelo and Sean really have a chance against them, if I'm being honest.
Alright. But you're just salty because I didn't pick you now.
Good point.
So can you just pick me just for the sake of the entertainment? And then we have a time we can go check.
I didn't pick him either and he still picked me.
Yeah, hang on, what's that all about?
Well, just in my opinion, I've come to my senses about needing the big men up front, and you only have one, and Salah will be useless.
I think your choice of team is just not suitable for what we're looking for. Marcelo's not handling that. It's Mo Salah, poor decision.
Hang on a minute now, this is coming from a fellow with bloody Olivier Giroud up front.
Olivier Giroud.
Olivier Giroud! He's... Oh my god, he couldn't...
Olivier Giroud's game is to win penalties. Salah's is.
Did
Great
no
point.
one see Salah's goal against City?
Olivier Giroud decides games.
Olivier Giroud comes up in the big moments, and we're talking about a big moment. Is there a bigger moment than on St. Munchins Yard? I don't think so.
Sean, we're talking about World Cups, Euros, big moments. Here.
Doesn't Jimmy... Or no, hang on. Let me think of a good player. Kiko Casilla, he has a Champions League medal. He couldn't get a game at Leeds United in the Championship. Does that mean Kiko Casilla is a better footballer than... Who hasn't won a Champions League in goals?
Buffon.
Or nine.
Buffon, yeah. So Kiko Casilla is a better goalkeeper than Gianluigi Buffon.
No, I don't think anyone's saying that Giroud is better than Salah. But in this type of game,
And what does his World Cup medal have anything got to do with it? He didn't win that in the schoolyard either. He won it in the back of Russia.
and where are you taking Salah? Why would you take Salah out there? Except for he can get past 1 or 2 players.
I think I should get a pure vote out of pure apology.
Out of apology.
Out of apology.
What's the apology?
For basically, I can't say it in the microphone, but for...
I'm not taking anything away from Mo Salah. He's literally the best football player in the world right now.
No, this,
Right
this is a
now,
whole
on
other
form.
podcast now, lads.
On form, but on the schoolyard, he's just not going to be able to do it.
You're picking Olivier Giroud. If anything goes wrong and if the whole crowd turn on him, he's not going to run up, be able to
Wait.
5 yards away.
Sean, you're playing Connor here. You're nowhere near my team. You're going down to the 3rd place playoff, mate. I'm in the final. You shouldn't even be talking to me right now.
I'm sorry, but lads, let's be honest. Messi, he's a good player, but is he better than James McLean?
No.
On the schoolyard, no.
Boys, I'm actually going to have to walk.
Sorry, in our schoolyard, is Messi better than James McLean?
No.
In our schoolyard, he's a good dribbler, and maybe he might have a slight edge. But tracking back, taking that abuse, James McLean gets the edge over Lionel Messi.
In 6 sides, you need the passion.
Yeah.
And one thing that James McLean definitely has is the passion.
Does Messi have that passion? I don't think so. In this setting, not in a pitch, not in the Barcelona colours, I don't think so.
If we're commentating on the school game, because we're doing a podcast and we're commentating on the podcast, I can guarantee you we'd be going in Messi,
I
and he'd
think
be
so.
running around everyone.
That's a good point. I think he will be running rings.
The
It's a tough one.
schoolyard game is played in the air shot.
That's facts.
To be fair, let's be honest though, if there's a better man to track back than James McLean, like Messi takes the first 10 minutes of the game just to see what's happening. It's about a half an hour game. So you have 5 players, including your goalkeeper, for the first 10 minutes of the match. if you have Crouchy and Long up top, you cannot do that. Shane Long, fastest ever goal in the Premier League. Imagine what he'd do out there.
Since you're being a Nottingham Forest fan, right, and you're saying Crouchy and the big air ball, if you know anything about Brian Clough, you know he'd say that if God wanted us to play football in the air, he'd put grass in the clouds. Messi is going to keep the ball on the ground, he's going to dribble around everyone, he's going to score me 16 goals.
But there isn't grass on the tarmac, Sean. If Brian Clough's something about tarmac on the clouds.
That's a good point, that's a good point.
But let's be honest, this team, Sean, I'm going to ask you, had a minute. You had an absolute minute. It's a good team. It's okay. Look, Messi and Ronaldo, okay players. But out there is where it counts. And I'm telling you, no one is going to be better than Shane Long out there.
Shane Long, like Mo Salah.
None of your players, except for yourself, are used to the weather. I'm sorry, I have Duffy, James Payne, Shane Long, and Peter Crouch.
You're just gone full Brexit mode here. There's actually going to be space. It's a 6v6, not a 30v30. The ball is going to be on the floor, and Messi is going to score 16 goals.
Sean, just sit down, take a seat, and accept
I'm
that
not
it's
sitting
gone.
down. I'm very angry.
I think we have to move on from this now.
So,
Connor,
you're true to the
Connor,
final.
true to the final.
Okay,
Oh, he's
I need a backdoor thing. I'm going into Instagram now and I'm DMing Messi. If he somehow comes over and goes to St. Munchins and proves himself on the yard, I want the title of this podcast as the best team.
You can have that. You can have it.
Alright.
I'll allow that.
Alright, I'm
Can I just say-
Messi right now.
If it was a good point about it is 6v6, not 30v30. If the game does resort to the ground, Messi will do his thing. But I think Tony Pulis, he'll instruct Connor's lads, keep it in the air, keep it away from that lad, and there won't be anything for Messi for me.
The message they sent to Messi, by the way, lads. There.
Yeah, I can confirm. Fancy a game of ball and Munchins has been sent to Lionel Messi.
But that's right. I don't care now. I don't care what he says. Everyone else is agreeing with me. Messi, he's like 10 minutes dating again. But that said, James Payne is already in his stride. He knows what he wants. Prime James Payne against Prime Messi. I think we know who's set coming out on top of that.
Okay, Connor versus Keane in the final.
Is there third place?
No,
Well, I think we have to give the third place to Connor after Sean's.
Yeah.
Boys,
Sean just told you well.
This is absolutely shocking now. It doesn't matter. I'll prove it all once Messi comes and plays a game of ball and Munchins.
Alright.
Okay, so the bronze medal goes to me. Now let's see for gold.
Mike, I'm just gonna let you remind you of my team
Yeah.
again.
Hang on. Can we just maybe be a bit more generous and do it like the boxing and give out 2 bronze medals maybe?
No. No, it's definitely not.
Alright. Goalkeeper. I have Luis Suarez. In my defence, I have myself and Ronald Koeman. Midfield, I have Roy Keane. And the 2 up front, the deadly duo, of course, Andy Carroll and Olivier Giroud.
Connor.
We've Neuer, Duffy, me, James Payne, Shane Long, and Crouchy. Look, Coleman, he's good. Let's be honest, Coleman's going to be a midfielder most that game. He's going to be trying to get up. So every time you can leave that much of space in defence, when you have Peter Crouch up there, not Shane Long, and you back there defending them. You.
I do have Roy Keane. I have Roy Keane sitting back. And I have Ronald Koeman. Well, he's not. I won't be putting Ronald Koeman up front. You're telling me that Martin O'Neill's going to put men forward?
You saw him every time with Shane Duffy. Anytime we needed to go, it was Shane Duffy up in the box. And now it's going to be the same thing here. If we get a corner, do you really think any of your men can defend against Duffy, Shane Long, and Crouchy on there?
But I know someone who can save a shot. Luis Suarez.
I don't know. I think Suarez might have no blunder in him, and Suarez will want to get off the pitch. And I don't think he has the disciplinary to keep himself back. He's going to go sprinting up there.
Oh, never mind. Anyway, what was I going to say? I'm going to have to go with Connor because I think Shane Duffy, Olivier Giroud, World Cup winner. I think Shane Duffy is a better goal threat than Olivier Giroud.
I couldn't agree more.
The hands are being shook here, Sean.
Shane Duffy better than Olivier Giroud goal scoring.
Yeah. If you look at his goal scoring, who has more goals for Ireland?
Does Olivier Giroud?
Oh,
Does Shane Duffy? Can Shane Duffy score a scorpion kick?
If he tried, yes. Shane Duffy
Has,
can do anything he wants.
has Shane Duffy scored won a Puskas award?
Shane Duffy's too modest for that. He's too down to earth and humble.
I think, in the famous words of Callum the Dragon, keep it simple. Shane Duffy is the best at keeping it simple. On the Munchins Yard, as we've seen from my goalie, you don't need scorpion kicks.
Talk about someone keeping it simple. Andy Carroll, Roy Keane. They're the men that can keep it simple. Up, long ball into the box. Andy Carroll gets his head in it, goal every single time.
Is Andy Carroll getting his head over Shane Duffy?
He's definitely getting his head over it on you.
I have a leap on me. Andy Carroll. Can we just say one thing? No one on my team has an injury record. Andy Carroll could be going off in the first 10 minutes. And there's no subs. He could be bringing on Martin O'Neill. And look, in his prime, Martin O'Neill, great player. But he's not a striker. At all.
I think we've two very evenly matched teams. What it comes down to is the manager for me. Tony Pulis versus Martin O'Neill. And I'm sorry, Martin, for what you did in 2016. I love you, but I have to give it to Tony Pulis, and for that reason, I'm giving the W and the gold medal to Connor.
You're picking him over an Irishman.
Look, it's a big shout, but
I'm picking Tony Pulis over an Irish and Forest man. Martin O'Neill won 2 Champions League with Forest, and I'm still taking Tony Pulis over as manager.
I was saying Connor all day long, but if we're going on managers, I'm going with Martin O'Neill. I'm going to go with Keane then.
We're not going managers, we're going a mix of everything here.
Okay. If we go head to head, manager, I'm going with Martin O'Neill. Sean.
He also done a good job at Celtic, can we just add?
indeed.
But has he ever done that with West Brom? Has he ever? Let's be honest, West Brom had a bang average team. We saw it. As soon as Pulis lost the dressing room, they went down. Apologies for the interruption. Let's continue what you were saying. Has Martin O'Neill ever fully done in the Premier League?
Oh,
He has done on the international stage in the biggest tournament in the world.
You said a minute ago that Tony Pulis done it with average players at West Brom. You're basically calling Jimmy McLean an average player.
No, he was a Premier League quality winger. But let's be honest, it was an average team. Like James Klein, in his prime, they were good players. But they were aging, they were old. I mean, look at the team, like, most of them are retired by now.
just for me, I think a thing that a lot of us are overlooking is the fact that Martin O'Neill has managed probably most of the players in your team. You know them inside out.
That is a valid point.
I think one thing we're forgetting too is that no one can defend against Shane Duffy. No one can defend. Okay? I'm saying Neuer is the goalkeeper. One of the best goalkeepers of all time. Even he couldn't stop one of Shane Long's shots.
Yeah.
Martin O'Neill will have Shane Duffy found out in the first 2 minutes of the game.
How many people in your team speak the same language?
Oh.
Great point.
Whoa.
Luis Suarez speaks English.
Very little. It's not his first language.
Ronald Koeman speaks English. He managed Southampton.
Yeah, but he'll just go on about how he played for Barcelona.
Roy Keane speaks English. And then both Andy Carroll and Olivier Giroud speak English.
Okay. Neuer. Okay, that might be a bit of a question point.
Exactly.
But Shane Duffy, James Klein and Shane Long, they can speak any language they want. Let's be honest, I don't think anyone in your team, if they start talking Irish to each other, I don't think anyone in your team would know what they're saying. And then Crouchy just needs instructions. Crouchy just not to use his head. And me, look, I think me and Duffy would be the best centre-back partnership you could have out of any of our teams.
I think Roy Keane would take on Shane Long, Shane Duffy and James McLean at the same time.
And James McLean, I don't know.
Yeah.
James McLean could have. We know one thing sure. When Roy Keane was assistant manager of Ireland, he never went after James McLean. And I think we all know why that thing. He went after players who didn't have passion. And I don't think Martin O'Neill would have anything against any of the players there. And I don't think he'd have the heart to beat them in this game.
So you're saying Roy Keane went for players with no passion, even though Shane Duffy and Shane Long were playing?
No.
Yeah.
I said Roy Keane went for no passion with the players he attacked. Like, the players he didn't like were the people who didn't train. He didn't like Harry Arter, he didn't like John Walters. They weren't training right. But there's a reason all three of these lads were consistent in the Ireland team. And it's because they had passion and they had fight. And I think Tony Pulis, he's Route 1, but you don't need a second plan to Route 1 football if it's going to work. And I think we can all agree it's going to work.
I think, unless any of you two have any more points, I think it'll go to a vote. And for the tiebreaker, we do have Jack. So for me, tough decision, two very strong teams. I'm going to have to go for Connor's team. I think Crouchy up top is the deciding factor, just for me.
I'm going to have to go with. This is a really tough one. I'm going to have to
There's
go
no-
with Connor.
You just pointed.
I pointed at Keane, that was a bit of the.
This is enough, Jack.
I know we don't need a tiebreaker here, but I do have to say I'm very disappointed that none of you put me on your teams.
Big man for the headers. I might have missed the trick there.
Now, on the schoolyard, I may miss 90% of my shots, but I do get a lot of opportunities. So I do come out with about 2 goals a game. Those 2 goals do come along with about 50 misses, but it's still 2 goals.
Jack, I'll bring you off the bench for Andy Carroll if he gets injured. Super sub, put him up there at striker, you're not stopping him.
Well, now you're just motivating me to injure someone.
Boys, I think, was there's no other points to make. My team is better, and that's just it. Like,
I think we've come to the decision, the joint decision, even with the super sub of Jack Norris. I don't know if maybe he might get a few flying challenges in, but for me, I think we've heard what we need to hear. So in 4th place with, let's be honest, a bit of a howler, we've Sean Kinahan. Then 3rd place, taking on bronze, we've myself, Connor. 2nd place, strong team. I think it's a disgrace he beat me, but we do have Keane. And 1st place, with a very good team, a fantastic manager. Raises his hands in victory, we've Connor Hall. And the hand goes up, and he takes home the gold medal.
The winning team in goals, Connor, who's your winning team?
Just
We
one
have-
more time.
Manuel Neuer, centre backs, Shane Duffy and Connor Hall. Our centre mid, James McLean. And up top, the dream team, Shane Long and Crouchy.
It's a disgrace. It's a disgrace. It's a disgrace.
Fixed.
It's fixed. It's fixed.
That is Tony Pulis' blue and white army.
Look, after taking a tough and in my opinion not fair defeat to Keane, I do have to admit I think Connor's team would have my team on toast. So that was the deciding factor for me. I think he's smashed it out of the park with his choices, and I don't see anyone beating that team on the tarmac. And that's going to bring this episode of the podcast to an end. Thanks everyone for listening, and come back next week.